All right, everyone. With mistake number 1 through 5, we kind of went through the basics. We kind of got down the things that some of you might have already known about that you should have been doing. Now we're going to get into the nitty gritty, into some stuff that you may not realize you're really missing out on in your internet marketing plan. So here we go. Mistake number 6, not cultivating referrals online. I see this all the time, and it's really, you're missing the boat. I mean, social media is a big thing, and social media is a place where referrals can indeed happen amongst your clients. So one of the places that you're going to want to do this is an example of an email newsletter. And at the very bottom of the email newsletter, we've got a little tag where we put a little thing that says refer us and get free cleaning, and it kind of outlines our referral program. Forward this email to a friend. A lot of the times with things like Constant Contact, there's an easy thing for forwarding it, but not only just using that, but also putting in here about what your referral program includes, putting in here about what you want them to do to refer you. You have to be specific. Another thing that you want to do is, yes, indeed, have a Facebook page, for sure, okay? Now, again, before you do a Facebook page, think about making sure that your Google Places is in place, that your website is set and it sells well, and then worry about Facebook. Don't think that Facebook is the foremost of all this, but it's probably number 3 or number 4, okay? But once you get your Google Places in place, once you get your website to where it's selling, once you've got a good website, then think about a Facebook page. Prompt for referrals on here. Connect with your friends that are on Facebook, have them go to your Facebook page and prompt them to get referrals. Mention things about your referral program, mention things about the holidays coming up, mention things about some of the awards you won, just some of the stuff that's going on in your company. That's what Facebook and social media is really all about. No, don't try to sell them around every single corner, but prompt them to let them know that yes, you're there, and yes, you want referrals, and give them tips about how they can care for their tile and carpet and whatever types of cleaning that you do for them. Educate them, show them, give them value, and give them stuff. And then briefly, every now and then, mention your referral program and ask for referrals. And definitely, too, by all means, someplace on your website, have a page for referrals that outlines your referral program. This will do 2 things. One, it will actually get referrals from some of your current clients that know and love you. As well, it can get referrals from, the prospects that are coming to your site will look at you and go, wow, this company's actually got a referral program implemented, so they must be a company that gets referrals, right? Well, obviously, so that might be an extra reason why they may want to actually do business with you, because they know that you're a company that's about referrals. That usually means that you've got more integrity, that you've got a more tight-knit customer base, and that really turns a lot of people on that might think about doing business with you. Mistake number 7, not updating your website. And this is a mistake that I see often, especially for the guys who've been in business for several years and originally created a website back in 1997 or 98 and haven't done anything with it since then. But even then, even beyond that, maybe you had a website created a few years ago, but it was by a web designer who doesn't really have very current templates, and your website looks outdated, even though it was just created a couple of years ago. So let me give you a couple examples here. If you've got little crazy animated GIFs, is what these are called, but if you've got little animated things like this on your website, there's a good chance that your website is looking outdated. If you've got little things like this, well, one, if you keep Christmas things up on your website all year long, that's kind of weird. But if you've got little animated things like this in your website, well, your website's outdated. These kind of things kind of signal and kind of give a red flag for being a 90-ish, a 1990s type of website. Anything else that you've got on your website that looks like it's from the 1990s is bad. So take that down, remove that, and revamp your website. It's going to be well worth the few $100s that you're going to spend. You may have an outdated website if you have goofy animated image on your site. You may have an outdated website if your last blog post is over a year old. That's provided even if you've got a blog. You may also have an outdated website if your spring cleaning special is still up and it's the fall or the winter. As well, like we just talked about, if your website design looks like it's from the 90s, you need to have something that looks current. You need to have something that looks cutting edge, because what will happen is you'll have people that will come to your website, and if they look around and they can tell that your website's old or it hasn't been updated in a long time, then they're going to kind of go, well, I could email or call these guys, but I don't even know if they're in business. And it just sort of takes away from that whole momentum that they had for trying to find a cleaning company online. Because think about what people are looking for when they're looking for a cleaning company online. They're looking for something that's current. They're not looking in the yellow pages because that business may be out of business or they may not be able to find information on them. They want the best current information. That's what people are looking for when they go online. So give them that. Spend that few $100, update your website, do some things to really keep current. Mistake number 8. Not collecting client information. Okay, and this is huge because your biggest gold mine in your company is your database. Okay, so what you want to do, bare minimum, is to have an email opt-in on your website where you offer either free cleaning tips or monthly specials or something. But you want to, in this case too, it's offering a $25 gift certificate, but offering something of value for them to opt in, for them to give their email to sign up for your email newsletter. That way you're collecting their email and you're knowing who the people are in your city that are interested in cleaning. Now, granted, if they come to your website, they may not be calling you for sure for cleaning, but you know that there's somebody that's interested in cleaning. So that's somebody that you want to capture the email address of, and that's somebody that you want to market to. That's somebody that's very valuable to you, and you want to collect that database. You want to take that database and market to them because they're eventually going to need cleaning again, even if they don't use you then. But the thing is, too, if you do it correctly, you can collect their email address and even have a good chance of getting them to use you the very first time if you mail them several emails within the first week. Also, get their email addresses when you're on the phone with them. When you're making, when you're getting estimates, by all means, get their email address and see if you can get their email address and add them to your email newsletter list. Tell them they're going to get the special offer if you do that. Your current clients, by all means, get their email address. Send them a confirmation email of when the cleaning is, and in that email give them tips on what they can do to get ready for the cleaning. But then you've got their email address, and if they've used you anytime within the last year, you're legally allowed to put them on your email newsletter list. So absolutely collect all the email addresses that you can from your clients and your prospects, put it into your email newsletter. Now, what would you do with an email newsletter, and how would you do that? Here are 4 different companies. These are probably the 4 best for a cleaning company. iContact is really good. MailChimp I've never used, but I've heard good things about. It's even free for the first, I forget how many, but for the first 100 prospects or something, with no time limit. Constant Contact's free for the first 2 months. However, after the first 2 months, you do pay regardless of how many leads that you've got. But all of these are really good from what I understand. Aweber's really, really good. Probably your best deliverability is going to be from Aweber. However, it can be a little bit more quirky to kind of work with than some of these other 3. But then again, maybe not. I mean, Aweber can be really good. But here's 4 to just check out and figure out what works best for you. All 4 of them should work pretty good for you. But basically, you're going to be able to have the system where you're going to have that opt-in box that I just showed you on your website. Whenever they opt in, you can set it up to where they get automatic emails. And then 2, you can also set it up to where every, at the beginning of January, at the beginning of February, at the beginning of March, they get a special email that you've already set up in the system to be able to give them an email in January. Be able to give them another email in February. Preferably, how many are you going to want to send a month? Maybe 2, maybe 3. Sometimes every week, really. Probably, I've ideally seen that every other week is really good. But use your preference on that. But you do want to be sending something to your current clients. That's the main thing to really get through here. Okay, at least once a month, if not even twice a month, ideally. So the other thing that you want to do is don't forget to capture the people that are on your website looking and thinking about getting an estimate, but they know you're closed because it's after hours. Almost half the people that are coming to your website are coming there after hours. Okay, if they're on your website at 7 o'clock at night, they know that you're closed. They know that you're not open. So they're looking around for a contact button in a form similar to this. If they don't find something like this, even though they might have loved everything they've seen on your site, they might write down your phone number, they may write down your web address and intend on coming back, but you know what? Most of the time they won't make it. So why not capture their name, email address, and whatever message that they wanted to give you then so that you can contact them the next day or contact them via email the next day. Have something like this, a contact page, on your website, on every single website that you have, and have a link to that contact page on every other page of your website, something like this little banner here that you can see part of. And then 2, also put on here that, if it's during business hours, call us. If it's after business hours, submit the form below. So you're sort of guiding them through the process. This helps. It just kind of makes it a no-brainer for what they need to do, and that's kind of what you want to do. And anytime you're selling somebody something, you want to make it seamless. You want to make it as easy for them as possible. Mistake number 9, no online presence outside of your main website. This is a mistake I see quite often. Okay, even to companies that have got big companies that have been online for a while. They only have an online presence on their main website, nowhere else. So what else can you do to get an online presence? Well, you can fill out directories for your company. Some of these you might already even have by default, but you want to make sure that the information's correct, because guess what? A lot of the times, in fact, about half the time when I look, some of this information's wrong. The website address could be wrong, your phone number could be wrong, but definitely make sure that you've got a profile at bare minimum, at least on these. Make sure that the information is actually correct. Here's an example of a Yelp page, and here we've got, a website link right here, a address, and all of this helps your search engine optimization, as well as gives you another outlet and another place to potentially even show up online when people are searching for you. This is huge, and it's free to be on here for stuff like this. WordPress. WordPress is something great for one. If you're thinking about getting a new website designed, I highly recommend WordPress above and beyond anything else. Why? Google loves it. Mainly is probably the main reason, but 2, it's once it's set up, you probably need a web designer to set it up initially if you want to have a good WordPress site. After that, you can actually add pages yourself relatively easily and even tweak some of the information, change the headline if you want to, change some of the text, change some of the pictures, and it's fairly easy. If you know how to use something like Microsoft Word, within an hour you can figure out how to use WordPress. It's not hard at all. So if you're thinking about getting a new website designed, WordPress is the bomb. It's what you want. Now, the other great thing about WordPress is you can also easily create mini sites. So what's a mini site? It's a small website that you would get maybe for if you did like you did area rug cleaning. Well, you might want a mini website created for area rug cleaning. If you do water damage restoration and you're mostly a carpet cleaning business, well, you might want a mini website created for water damage restoration. What if you service a town that's outside of the main city that you service? Well, you might want to create a mini website for that. You might want to create a mini website for all of the towns that you service outside of the main city that you're located in. And it can be done with WordPress relatively easily and relatively inexpensively, if not even sometimes free, once you really figure out how to do it. Mini websites are great. They're perfect. Here's an example of one of them that actually ranks the top 10 of a fairly large city. And, it basically got some good basic information. It's a WordPress, just, mini website. And then, of course, we've got, the information on what this particular area is that this mini website actually services and actually ranks for. The other thing, too, about WordPress that's really, really great is the web forms that we just talked about a moment ago, you can actually add those relatively easily on the WordPress site yourself. You can actually change some of the information and add these on the WordPress site yourself, even in a mini website. In fact, I even recommend that even if you have a mini website, have a contact page with something similar to this. And this is really as easy as it is if you've got a WordPress site. You log in and you're in a control panel and you're in something like this. You're going to go and you're going to click Add New, and you'll be able to have something that comes up like this where you just type in whatever text you want to type in whatever you want to call the page, and then click on Update, and then you're going to have a new page created on your website. It's just that simple. The other thing that you want to do is create social media site profiles, and here's an example of a few of them: Squidoo, HubPages, Weebly, Multiply, Blogspot, Blog, Twitter, Delicious, LinkedIn, YouTube. Do some of these. Picasa, because then you've got other profiles, you've got other places online that identify your company that, one, give you links to your website, which is really good, but as well give you a social online presence and give you potential other places to show up online. Especially when you link these together, this is really, really sweet for your company. Here's an example of a HubPages site where, again, we've got a link right here, the links to the main website. Here's an example of a Squidoo site where, again, here we've established it with the company that we're actually mainly associated with. And then we've got a link here, again, to the main website. Now, what you're going to really do in a way, this is called a kind of a link program, but you're going to take all of these, you're going to link all of these different profiles to your website. Now, I know if you're just getting started in internet marketing, this is kind of complicated and maybe even overwhelming. That's fine. I just really show you this to kind of show you that this is possible and doing something like this, having these mini websites, having all these different profiles, having a mini website for tile cleaning, this type of thing is possible. I have many clients that do this, and they make a lot of money booking jobs on the internet as a result of doing stuff like this. So it is possible. It's something that can be done. It's something that we even teach that you guys can do. Mistake number 10. Not using videos. Videos are huge right now. In fact, in some ways bigger than just text on your website. You can actually create a video similar to this, or it could even be more basic than this. This is more of a professional type of video that we've done several years ago. But you can actually create an even simpler video that can show up on the top of the search engine when you type in your keywords for your company. And again, this is kind of what it's going to look like if it shows up in the top 10 of your search engine. And this is great because some people are going to look at this and go, well, YouTube, I know YouTube, and I'd sure like to watch. I'm thinking about hiring a carpet cleaning company in Pensacola, so I'd sure like to watch that video. And if it's somebody that really enjoys videos, they're going to watch this before they're going to click on almost anything else on that entire page. So that's why videos are just huge that you do, and it's too important to optimize your video, because there's ways to actually optimize your video to where it will show up on top of the search engines. It doesn't happen on accident. You have to do a few key things to be able to get it to happen. So we talked about all of these other mistakes, but there is one huge mistake that's even bigger than anything else that we've talked about, and that's doing nothing. And I see this a lot too. You get overwhelmed, and you kind of know you need to be on the internet. You kind of know that you need to get some stuff done, but you don't know what to do. So instead, you stand there and you scratch your head and you don't do anything. This is bad. This is very bad, guys, because you're losing out. Somebody right now is getting all the business in your city on the internet. Even if you're in a small city, there are, even in the smaller cities, there's at least 100, if not a couple hundred people searching in most small cities on the internet that you could be capturing each and every single month. So do something. That's kind of the thing. Remember, the internet is not something to be feared. It's something that you can take advantage of, and you need to do that. So let's recap what we've talked about in these 10 mistakes here. You want to make sure that you're seen well online. You want to make sure that Google Places is set up. You want to be getting reviews. You want to make sure you're not wasting your money. You want to make sure you're updating your website and checking your mobile website to make sure that's showing up well in a mobile phone, in a mobile device. You want to collect email addresses. You want to cultivate referrals, and you want to create social site profiles. And the biggest thing, again, do something, okay? It can't hardly be wrong, okay? And then again, you can go crazy and do some stuff wrong online, but by and large, it really isn't going to be wrong as long as you're getting some momentum and doing something. So, with that being said, watch this video again if you've got something out of it. You can watch it again and get something even more out of it. Coming here in the next couple of days, we're actually going to be offering a special package for you all, something, the best offer that I've ever actually offered ever. And it's similar to an offer that I actually just recently only made at Howard Partridge's Roundtable, and everybody loved it. They couldn't believe all the stuff that I included with this package. I'm going to do something very similar coming up here very, very soon. So watch your email box. It's something that's going to help you be able to do all of this. It's something that's going to be able to help you get online. And it's something that's also going to be able to have some of that done for you. We'll actually do some of it for you, all included in a very low-cost type of package. So watch your email box for that, and we'll talk to you all real soon.